Hey, welcome everyone. If you want to know about robotics and you want to know about the updates from Matt of anyone can build robots, then this is for you. So we got Matt here. I'm going to bring Matt in.
What's
So
up, guys?
Matt,
Stoked to be here.
yeah. So thanks for joining in, Matt. You have to forgive me for a moment because I got audio playing in two different locations.
No,
So
you're good. You're good.
all right. So, Matt, you got a new robot that you're launching today.
Yes, absolutely.
Tell,
Today is launch day. We've been trying to build up the hype, and
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
the stars are aligned, and we're ready to go. The last piece of puzzle was getting the chassis, sent from the machine shop and then anodized. So the second we had that, we're ready to rock and roll, and we set today, Monday, as our launch day.
Hey, Vince, thanks for joining in. So, tell us a little bit about your journey of why, for those who don't know who you are,
Mhm.
start with what you do for a living and why you did this. Hey, Barry, thanks for joining in. Um, so, tell us what you did, what you do, and why you started this.
Absolutely, yeah. So my name's Matt, right? And I'm the founder of ACBR. That's Anyone Can Build Robots. And I work full time as a high school robotics teacher. That's what I've done for the last 7 years or so. And it's so awesome. I really do feel like I have the best job on the planet. Getting to work with students and help give students skills that can change their lives. The fact that we can go into a classroom and talk about programming and electronics and the stuff that we can do is so advanced these days that it gets kids excited, and they're learning skills that can help them in their future in so many ways. And so ACBR kind of grew out of my love of being a robotics teacher. And as you guys all know, um, it's both a rough time to be a teacher and a rough time to be a student right now. I mean it's a rough time to be a human right now. There's so much going on, but that really hasn't stopped us. I think learning about robotics and programming, even in a distance learning setting, can be so inspiring. And so during these difficult times, we wanted to make sure that we're working even harder to create awesome robotics kits. So um, like I was saying, I've been a high school robotics teacher for 7 years now, and ACBR grew out of a want to extend what I do outside of my physical classroom, right? So I love my students and I love getting to work in the classroom, but I just knew that there were so many students all around the world, who would never get that opportunity, and I didn't think that was fair, and so in my experience, when building robotics kits and ordering things for my class and for the robotics team, I found that there was tons of stuff that was really high quality but super super expensive, like prohibitively expensive. And there was other stuff that seemed like a great deal, but it would fall apart and it just wasn't there. The documentation wasn't there, or the stuff wasn't super high quality. And so I got to thinking, like, I think maybe I can do better. I think maybe I can design a robot for my own classroom that would meet all these needs, that would be exciting and affordable. Because, as a lot of you guys know, I'm sure if you know a teacher, that they give their all to their classroom. And that's a lot of things like, personal money and, other sort of things that just kind of, comes with the job. And so I started by designing robots that were affordable, that I could fund myself and that my kids would find exciting. And that was a few years ago. And and it was through that experience that I decided to start ACBR. So we had a series of tutorials and we had our robotics kits. And so our goal was to make really exciting robots and to make it as easy as possible. So not dumbing things down, but provide documentation and guidebooks and videos that meant that anybody around the world could learn how to build robots. And that's why we named our company ACBR, Anyone Can Build Robots. And one of our biggest goals is to fundraise. So like I said, I work full time as a high school robotics teacher, right? That's my whole life, and ACBR is something that I do, where we sell our robotics kits, but actually a huge portion of all those proceeds go to giving away the robots for free. And that's our main reason. We are a store, but in reality, we're a store that wants to keep the lights on. We want to keep the lights on, and then we want to give everything else away. We want to be able to donate robotics kits to schools and organizations and students who normally wouldn't get the chance to learn about robotics. And so we just, at the core of it, want to spread the joy of building robots, a little bit of, encouraging the young mad scientists around the world to have fun and learn some skills that can help them achieve an awesome career.
That is so cool. Totally inspiring. I want to say a big thank you to Tana with his gaming channel, Asphalt Crazy 21. I appreciate you, brother. The support you give. Barry joined in. We have the Happy Extruder, Ron. Appreciate you coming in, and Vince. So yeah, and my sister, she can do it too, is in here as well. So hey, thanks for popping in, guys. This is amazing what Matt has created here. So if you're joining in late, Matt created a company where he produces the robots to help inspire others to learn how to build, program, use electronics, troubleshoot.
Yeah.
There's so much that goes into tinkering. You hear tinker. Well, I mean, that was the old maker, right? So we call them makers now. But yeah, we're tinkers, just the same. You have to learn how to put things together. So you have, for instance, on this screen here, we have this robotic arm with a servo. I mean, if you know RC cars, you know what a servo is. So, the servo here is being used for the gripper. You have to know how to program that device to do it. Now, with an RC car, you would have a controller that would be remote controlled with some radio transmitter and the receiver, and it would drive the servo's actions. So that was direct through radio communication. Now with robotics, you can still perform the same thing, like you'll see in some of these photos in Matt's Instagram here. He has some use of like a PlayStation controller. So that's like direct control, but then there's also autonomous control that you can program in. So being able to do that is crazy, and especially at a young age. But you got to remember, we were kids playing with solder and dangerous chemicals and electronic devices, and we were learning it then. So what's the difference for them to step it up with just learning how to program? If there's an interest, the kids will learn it. And I mean, that's true for, in general, anybody. I mean, if you want to know about something, you will dig in and try to learn everything that you can. So you have like this here. This is crazy. Like a tracked robot that has a gripper on it, right? I mean, it's just crazy. And this is one of the robotic kits that Matt sells.
Yeah, that's our Explorer. And we've even done updates. We want to make sure that we're constantly working hard to make the best robots we can. And so we've recently invested in some machinery that's allowed us to take things to the next level and the next level and the next level. Actually, I don't know. Can you pull up that Instagram again?
Yep.
So if you go to one of our newer posts here, I just wanted to see if we can find a newer version of the Voyager.
That was the double track one.
Man, we've been posting all kinds of stuff. Okay, I'm sorry. A little further?
Like that one is at the beginning of it?
Let me see here. Oh, there we go. Okay, if you go down. That one right there. So, excuse me. So minus the arm, but that's the Voyager, and that's probably the newest version of that. And even there represents, a lot of small incremental changes that we've made to try to make these robots as awesome as we can.
Yeah. So was this also through Send Cut Send?
No, okay, so that has been a more recent partnership, and I would love to talk about Send Cut Send because I have so much respect for those guys. They run such an awesome shop, and that was actually one of the really big one of the things that we were the most excited about with the new our new robot is this is one that we designed all of the hardware in-house and had it cut, here in the States and anodized at a shop just, 10 minutes down the road for the first time. We always designed our own circuit boards and we always, built our own curriculum and all of that. But there were some parts that we weren't able to make ourselves. And so investing in our CNC router and then, finding amazing machine shops to produce our aluminum parts was huge. And so like this is the new Rover, right? And so this is the robot that launched today. And these pieces right here, these were all cut out at Send Cut Send. And I have some pictures on the Instagram. And this is a chassis that we designed for the first time. So now, every single resistor and capacitor we designed. Every single angle of the chassis we designed. And it's really been a huge point of pride for us. And so Send Cut Send, I can't say enough good things about them. We have some other projects that are in the works that we're really excited about. I think we have a picture of this one, but this is our potential new Voyager chassis. And
very nice.
It's just insane to me that, now in I can create a file in Fusion 360 and I can send it to a shop and then, a few days later, I can have this physical copy, laser cut out of aluminum. It's just so cool where technology is today. And that's one of the reasons why we work so hard to spread the word, because that's at the level where my students, if they wanted to get their own designs cut out in aluminum, it's possible, where that was, unthinkable a few years ago.
So Send Cut Send, let me first say, hey, Gemma, thank you for joining in. I appreciate, Ron, you sharing the links for Matt's products here. Yeah, Jerry Setterelli, he's a local train enthusiast, model railroader.
Cool.
He lives close to me, and he's popping in, so I appreciate you popping in there, Jerry. And Brian Vines, he's crushing the YouTubes right now, so that's really good. So thank you for joining in. So if you don't know Brian Vines, he is the king of puns. So I challenge Brian to come up with the puns as we are speaking robotics.
Love it. Can't wait.
He does it justice too. People try to compete with him and they just can't. It's impossible. So
nice.
Yeah. All right. So with the Send Cut Send, a friend of mine, Bernie Solo, I don't know if you know Bernie Solo, works by Solo. He let me switch screen here. So he produced several pieces with Send Cut Send.
Oh, cool.
And that's how I learned about them. And I think it's fantastic that you teamed up with them. Is there any preparation that you have to do, or are they already deburred and mill scaled off, or you don't have mill scale because you're aluminum, right? So,
right.
But do you have to deburr them, or are they already deburred?
No, so they do deburr, which is awesome. And I think because we have a local anodizer shop, and this is this thing we've done for the first time, so I'm still learning a lot about the process, but I'm pretty sure I don't think there's much treatment work that the anodizer shop needs to do. I get it raw, so this is exactly how I got it from the guys at Send Cut Send. We actually have a really cool video of their shop, and the process that they go through. I think it was on their Instagram, and it's just so cool to see, and so there may be an edge or two you wanna sand down, but for the most part, it's good to go. I take them straight from Send Cut Send over to my anodizer, and then they do the rest of the work. I thought for a long time that it'd be really cool to anodize in-house as well. And I was talking to my wife about it. I was like, "Oh, sweetheart, all we need to do is electrify some battery acid in the garage." And she's like, "No, that's okay. I think we can find a shop to do that for you." And so,
dang it.
I know.
I love playing with chemicals.
I still do want to try to do anodizing at home, but we got a really good price on it. And
why would you ask that question? You know not to ask the question.
Yeah, I even did some. Yeah, I did some experiments with black oxide. Because black oxide is usually for tools, right? But I think it's EPI, Electroplating Incorporated, or whatever. They make a black oxide that's room temperature for aluminum. And so I actually bought some of that to see if we could do sort of a black oxide over aluminum in-house. But it just wasn't precise enough. The color wasn't consistent enough, and so it was just easier to take it to a shop.
Yeah. No, it's good that you get the partnerships, because at the end of the day, the more time you're devoting to actually doing the process, the less time you're devoting to the R&D. And it's the R&D that's going to take you further. So, I mean, this is true in business as well. We're pretty much students of business, entrepreneurship, and YouTube. And one of the big brains behind a lot of this movement for removing yourself from the business is Michael Gerber. He writes the E-Myth books, and he always talks about trying to remove yourself from the business. Yeah. So you can't do that if you're working in the business. You have to work on the business. So yeah, that's really smart that you're doing it. And successful people who flip homes, guess what? They're not doing the flipping themselves. They have contractors doing it. So yeah, that's good that you do that. But I'm always the guy who wants to tinker and do all that stuff anyway. So right. Like, yeah, but it totally makes sense to farm that stuff out.
Yeah, and so like you're talking about the R&D, right? Like we've had our X-Carve CNC for a long time, for I don't know, 9-10 months now, and it's an amazing prototype machine. So I'm glad that even though a lot of what we're doing is R&D, that we have some machines that can help us with that. Actually, on our Instagram right there, that's the machine I'm probably the most excited about, our vacuum former. And I felt so lame when I was trying to explain to people why I was so excited about buying it, because we got it for packaging, so we could make custom inserts for our robots, so we can make our packaging more professional. And if I told 16-year-old me that I'd be super excited about spending $700 on a plastic packaging machine, I would think I was crazy. But sure enough, it's
that's really cool. Yeah, that's when I saw that you posted that, and you posted it back in October. I was excited for you. Yeah. I'm like, man, this is great. So now tell me a little bit about your electronic board manufacturing. So you design everything in what, KiCad, or are you using EasyCAD or something?
Okay, so I have used a lot of different software in my day. These days, I'm actually using Easy EDA. It's worked really well for us, Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, there are so many awesome choices out there. I know Altium is huge right now. I had a file of Altium and I used it for a while, and I think it was just cost that I didn't end up using it. But with where we're at right now, you see this all the time with makers. Is I tend to go where the community is, and there have been a lot of people who are using EZA, making some really awesome stuff, and so that's kind of what I've been using the last couple of months. But I've been super tempted with Altium, because I know there's a lot of people who have been excited about what it can do, and I haven't taken a look at it in a few months, and I might just do that.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Easy EDA because you can get up and running very quickly. Yeah, it's no problem to start designing stuff. Look, there's quirks in every software that you play with. Yeah. KiCad is another one that I'm interested in learning. I did use KiCad for a little bit. But definitely want to switch gears. This is really cool. I like that you have all this process where you can design and stuff, send it out. Can you tell me, well, let's first get to Brian's comment here. So, good tip on you have to read this carefully, Matt. Good tip on needing to deburr the edges a little. But for those in a hurry, that's something to file for later.
There you go.
Yeah, you have to be really careful with Brian's.
I love it.
So if you add an or to these, does it become a robot?
That's a good one.
Yeah, so I got a feeling there's going to be a pun war.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
All right, so I often wanted to create a kit, but I was concerned about legal issues and stuff. So what is it? with doing kits that you're exempt from? Like when you produce a product,
Mm-hmm.
you have to do like SEC filing and stuff. Are you exempt from that because it's a kit?
As far as I can tell, yeah. One thing that's super nice is whenever, that's one of the reasons why we use the ESP32 is because that microcontroller specifically has already gone through that whole process.
Sure.
And it makes designing so much easier. And so I think that's one of the reasons why well, I don't know. The ESP32 became popular because it's awesome, right? But I think that's just kind of like the cherry on top. On top is that in terms of the Bluetooth communication protocol, and its Wi-Fi system, that it's already gone through that evaluation process, and so it hasn't been too much of a headache. We always want to make sure we're doing our homework, and that we're doing things above board. But I would say that it hasn't been too restrictive for us, the whole process of making sure that we're compliant with all sort of regulations. But I'm also learning, just as much as I am, creating. This is, starting a business from scratch, where we're a year and a half in, has been an awesome, undertaking, and certainly time consuming and certainly very tiring, but exciting nonetheless.
So now we have to come off of this one here, where we have the robot. You then have Brian's response. So it might keep going.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining in. All right, Brian. Yeah, we'll look forward to having you come back on. Yeah, I appreciate that, Amos. So that's something I'm interested in doing, is providing kits. We learn that as students of YouTube that eventually you need to have a product.
Yeah.
A product that you can sell, and a product that people want to buy.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. So that I often wanted to create some form of a kit that people could create or build, extend, tinker with, use it in other capacities, abuse it, whatever, really as a learning process, but hopefully in the end have them be like, okay, this was something that really helped me up my game and learn more. And I see that with your products. Can you give us any feedback or success stories of a student or a parent of a student or a teacher of a student who reached out to you and said, oh my God, there's a student that I had who wasn't doing anything. They got your kit and completely changed their life?
Man, that's what you hope for. Absolutely. I can, let's see, a specific story. Now, I definitely, in my in my role as an educator, right? I see that all the time. Like there are students, there are students where you see that all the time. I think one of the biggest things about robotics is that whenever you find students that would be interested but think they can't, think they can't overcome that, then that's when that's so inspiring. When they realize, like, okay, maybe maybe I can do this, and that's a lot easier to do in the classroom. So I hear from our customers all the time, and I love getting that feedback. Like we had a customer, Robert, who was able to have a virtual robotics camp this summer with his grandson, and his grandson, and he'd helped his son, and seeing all those generations come together. But also too, I get messages from like students all around the world who are like, "Oh my gosh, I had this final, and like I don't know what's wrong. Can you help me?" And to see that relief, and I'm like, absolutely. Like there was one time I was talking to somebody who was I don't remember where they were. I think it might have been like an electrical engineering student in Pakistan. And we were talking, and they were like, "Hey, I need help with this RF Nano, like NRF 24L01 radio circuit." And I was like, "Hey, sure, I'll help you." And he's like, "Is this a bot?" And I'm like, "No, dude, you're talking to the founder of the company. I'm here live. Like, I'll help you if you want." And he's like, "Whoa, okay." And so, it's really fun to be able to offer that kind of to be like that's one of the things I wanted to do with ACBR was I wanted to be the world's robotics teacher, not just in my classroom, but you're so right in that, we have the ability to turn those students' lives around with robotics. There was one time I was in class and there was a student who had a tech deck, like those little mini skateboards, and I think the go-to teacher move is to grab it and snap it in half, because you hear clicking and all that stuff. And so this student in particular, it was pretty funny. It was one of those students like, oh, watch out for that one, And I was like, I try not to listen to that because that's so stupid to have that kind of, preconceived notion about what a student is going to be. And so that student was in my robotics class, and they were messing with their tech deck, and they pulled out like a mini ramp, like a little tiny little ramp. And I went over to him and I was like, hey, what are you doing? And I think he expected me to chew him out, and I told him like, oh, man, wouldn't it be so cool if you like put some LED lights underneath that turned on when you made contact on that little mini rail? And he's like, oh, I guess that'd be kind of cool. Yeah. Like, here, you want to show you how to do it? And I had other students who were working on a project, so it's not like I was teaching, but I was able to sit down for like 10, 15 minutes and help that student build that project. And that wasn't at all related to what it is I was doing right there, but it was a way to get those students. And so I try to keep that in the back of my mind that I want to reach students where they are. And I actually have a skateboard-based project that I'm planning on launching pretty soon that I hope will also inspire that particular students. Here in Southern California, it's something we see a lot, where students would rather be skating than they would be in the classroom. Yep. And in some ways, I totally get that.
So there's a question we have to get to, but before we do, when you're ready to do that skateboarding thing, there's somebody I want to reach out to, Jeremy Vest, who works for Braille Skateboard.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know Braille Skateboarding or.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty big on YouTube, yeah. So he's like their marketing dude and helps them produce their videos. So yeah, it's definitely something I want to reach out.
All right.
When you're ready to do that. All right. So we have a question here. Well, before we get to the question, I want to show this here. So have you seen BattleBots?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
Well, guess what? We're in the presence of Mitch.
Oh, no way.
3D right here. Yep. So
hey.
Mitch is here. I appreciate you stopping in, Mitch. Yeah, Mitch is a really good guy. So when we go to Murph or Earth, Murph is Midwest Rep, and Earth is the East Coast Rep Fest. Yeah, he's always there, and he has some really cool projects that he works on.
Oh, I'm sure.
And his last one was a Delta 3D printer backpack that he held on his, toted around the 3D printing convention while it was actually printing.
No way.
Which is pretty amazing. So yeah,
seriously.
Yeah, so this is the current season of BattleBots that Mitch is in. So it's really awesome what Mitch is doing. Yeah, and so Mitch kind of turned me on to BattleBots. Like I used to watch BattleBots a little bit, but then he knew Robert Cohen, so that got me interested into watching Robert with his. I think it was Copperhead, watching that. So
yeah,
that's
awesome.
Yeah, Mitch. And Mitch is like, yeah, I didn't notice this is my Insta. Come on, man. It's
it's funny. Actually, I thought for a second that this was Send Cut Send's Insta because they do a ton of work with BattleBot teams.
Yeah, well, you can see the logo here.
Oh, there you go.
Send Cut Send. So yeah.
Yeah,
there you go. So yeah, Mitch, Matt uses Send Cut Send for
they make my chassis.
Yeah, so this is good stuff. All right, so let's get to the question here from Ron.
Absolutely. Okay, so can you explain the add-ons as far as what you recommend for a new user? So that's a really good question. Generally speaking, I recommend the Rover for our new users. Because the Rover has the most documentation, and I am so stoked about the new Rover. And so, yeah, exactly. So that's just one of the examples. So like that's, I think like 60 pages and goes through everything you need, but also for every single chapter, I have a whole full-length video. That's actually what I've been doing all last like 3 or 4 days, has been finishing up our tutorial videos. And so we don't have them live yet on our YouTube channel yet, but I'm really excited to, as the name suggests, anyone can build robots. My goal is that anyone can pick up any one of our robots and be successful. I think when it comes to somebody being new, I think it's a question of how much customization they can do. Because even the Voyager, the Voyager is our big, crazy, four-wheel drive track robot with the arm. And so I think a new user could build that robot still. It may be more difficult to customize it, but that wouldn't be a barrier for entry. I think there can be so much gatekeeping, when it comes to engineering. Like, oh, you don't know how to do that. Oh, you're not smart enough, or you're not cool enough, or you didn't go to this school or that school. And it's one of my biggest goals is to overcome that, to inspire anybody to build whatever they want. And so I have people come to me all the time. Like I have one user on my Instagram who reaches out all the time, and he picked up a Voyager without any experience, but he asked like, hey, is there any way you can walk me through how I could customize this? And the answer to that is yes, absolutely. I think our customers learn pretty quick that there's no limit to how much help they can receive. If it's over the weekend, if it's a super quick request, if something's not working, we're there. Customer service is huge, but so is documentation. John, did I show you my documentation tattoo last time?
No.
Okay, so this is a joke that I tell all the time, right? So documentation is so important to me, right? Because without documentation, how can you repeat something, right? How can you explain something when you get a robotics kit and there's no documentation? Hey, thank you. When there's no documentation, it can be so hard to get started, right? Like you could be so excited about this robotics kit, but if you get it and like there's no instructions or anything, it's like, oh shoot, now what am I gonna do? And so I take documentation. Documentation is so important to me that it's tattooed on my arm right there. Is that documentation?
Yeah, that's good stuff.
And that was actually, believe it or not, a bet that I had with my students. So I had some students at my last high school that they worked so hard. They were part of the Skills USA competition series. I'm not sure if you've heard of it or not, but Skills USA is awesome.
We have our local school here.
There you go. Yeah. So they were in the engineering design competition, and they won regionals. When they won regionals, they said, "Hey, if we make it all the way to nationals, will you get a tattoo?" And I said, "Yes, absolutely." And so they ended up winning first in the entire state of California. So they were the top engineering design students, the whole state of California. And I got a little nervous. So and so they made it to nationals. They ended up finishing it was like 22nd or so in the nation. And I'm a man of my word, and I'm a dedicated educator. So I got that tattoo. And there are a lot of people who thought I was pretty crazy. But, whatever. It's a tattoo. Who cares? And it's a great story. So yes, that's why I consider documentation to be very important.
Yeah, it was. So our son Johnny, he attended Gloucester County Institute of Technology, and they always placed at the Skills USA, for different competitions.
Yeah.
He went for engineering, but it's funny, he's not even enrolled as engineer now. He's going for, hip hop or music production is what he's doing. So
yeah,
that's really where his passion is. So he's following his passion instead of what I wanted him to do. Yeah. So this is good. So then we have Mitch here. Yeah. So this is the point of, if you have lack of documentation, then you're going to rely on community that's going to be segmented in how they're positioning their help and everything. And so then you'll get different approaches to solving problems. Whereas when you have documentation, you have a clear intended approach. And then of course everybody can diverge how they want, but
yeah,
you can at least see how the intended approach was.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my pleasure. Yeah, having solid documentation was really important to me, and I'm so excited for the day when we can have our documentation in other languages, and we can continue to build and build and build. I want people to be blown away with how easy it is to make some amazing projects. It's one of my biggest goals.
Right, so I'm bringing up your webpage again. All right, so going to shop.
Mhm.
All right, I don't see a button that says buy everything.
I should put that button. Yeah,
Why
definitely.
don't you have that? Like,
Uh,
seriously, like I just want to hit a button,
yeah.
like give it all to me, and then because I I hate this task, right? So let's go through this task.
Yeah.
Okay, so include or body arm, pre-soldered, PS3 controller. Okay, add. Okay, now I'm done that one. Now you have to go next. Okay, now
Yeah, it
I
can
want to
be,
do
it can be a little
include.
tedious.
Yeah, pre-soldered. Yep, PS3 controller. Yep. Okay, so now we're at $470. No problem. Okay, next. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I know what you mean. I'll work on that. I'll get
Yeah.
on.
But when you do that, I mean, I'm kind of kidding, but at the same time, I'm not, because there are people like me who will literally buy everything.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
um, Cricket had their huge sale this, for Christmas, right between Black Friday and Christmas. So then they
mm,
went 50% off on their vinyl cutters and everything.
yeah.
So I
Crazy.
bought everything. I bought one of everything. I bought I bought the maker. I didn't need to buy the air and all that because the maker is like the top of the line, right?
Right, right, right.
But if there was a product that they had, I bought it. I even bought the case for putting the maker in, and the case for putting all the supplies in. So yeah, but when you do this button, have it so that it's the latest of everything. So if you have different
Mm.
revisions of products, like exclude the older ones, just
Yeah,
make it the
yeah.
latest so that when somebody can hit go, yes, they want everything.
I like
I'm
that. I
telling
like that.
you,
I'm gonna get
you
on
might
that. I think
you might
that
have
should
that.
be possible. I got to talk to our software team, which is also me. So yeah.
All right, Mitch. So yeah, I got that. I The intention is for my wife to start creating content
Mhm.
somehow, whether it's Instagram or whether it's for YouTube. Um, if I were to ask her this a year ago, she would have been like, "Are you smoking crack? No way." But guess what? She's a teacher, and
Yeah,
she has to teach remotely.
yeah,
So what's that mean? She's in front of the camera. Now she's no longer camera shy.
yeah.
So she's actually to the point where she could, and she doesn't have to appear in a video. I mean, her hands will, but she doesn't have to. You don't actually have to see her. She's not opposed to the idea anymore. So that's really why I bought it. That
That's cool.
that we can get some content for the channel, or maybe it'll be her own channel, whatever, or
Yeah.
and on her own Instagram. And of course, once we figure out how to use it, then I'll use it too.
Mhm.
But not like I have a lot of time because I'm working so much with my
Yeah.
day job and then my side hustle. So yeah, this is good stuff. So then, yeah, I want to get this stuff for our neighbor's son who I'm coaching in 3D printing. I've been I guess mentoring him, tutoring him. I don't know
Mhm.
what the right word is. Um, I guess coaching is the right word because I'm kind of telling him what to do at a
Yeah.
certain point. And then he goes off and learns about it and executes it. So um, I think that this will be an opportunity for him to grow in an area that I, he may not think that he's interested in,
Mhm.
or maybe he's not interested in it because it's intimidating.
Mm.
And I think with your help with your products, that this would really take him far. And that's the point of your product,
Yeah.
to help inspire people who didn't think that they could do something with robotics, because robotics is like kind of tough. It,
It can be
it's very
intimidating for sure. Yeah.
because the robots you're used to seeing are like uh, the ones in Star Wars or whatever. They're real complicated, and yeah, I can't build that. But
Right.
and
Yeah.
then a friend of ours, mutual friend of ours, David Randolph, he owns Printed Solid just south of me in Delaware, and he thinks nothing of spending $25,000 to build an R2D2.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, then you can understand why people are intimidated. But yeah, this is a low price point for entry that gives
Yeah.
you immediate capability for doing some crazy stuff. So I cut you off. You were saying something?
No, that's okay. That prices are so super important to us, and we're not organized as a nonprofit, but we essentially function as a nonprofit. When we were setting up the company, we just didn't set it up as a nonprofit. But I don't take any salary from ACBR. One day, I would love to be able to do ACBR full time. But every penny that we make goes into helping give away these robots or making these robots better. And so, one of the reasons I'm so excited about the new Rover is that the price is almost the exact same, but we're designing the chassis for the first time. We're basically making every single piece ourselves. But the added features. So one thing we added to this, which was awesome, which I know you're a huge fan of, the WS2812s, right? I know you're a NeoPixel fan. Don't even lie,
Yes,
right?
I learned how to program them. Yep.
Yeah. So it was so you can pick up a WS2812 for what 15 cents a piece, right?
Yep.
And to put them into your design, into your circuit board, doesn't cost all that much. And so why not do that? And so that's kind of what we came to. And so like we have these triangular cuts in the chassis, and partially that's to let that light through. We have some really good pictures on our Instagram, but also too, so like we decided to add a buzzer, a small buzzer or speaker underneath the microcontroller. Because again, that only costs us 10, 15 cents to build, so why not give our users that experience? And so now, whereas the Rover originally was a really good robot for beginners that you could solder yourself, it's really grown into a product where you can learn how to program light and sound and motion all in one kit that's affordable, so there's so much you can do with it. And that value is something that was really important to me to offer, because I know what it was like as a teacher to not be able to buy something just because it was too expensive. We couldn't do it. And I want to be able to solve that issue for other people, if that makes sense.
Like you have these tutorials online here. Now, are you hosting these tutorials locally on your website, or are these YouTube videos?
So there's a whole blog post for each one, which is local, but they all link to a YouTube video. So, we have actually been neglecting our YouTube channel for the last couple of months, only because we've been doing tons of R&D. But I'm really excited to grow our channel. We hit the 500 mark on subscribers like a week or two ago. And that was really cool. So we have a ton of YouTube content coming really soon that I'm really excited about. I really want to break that 1,000 mark, so we can start advertising our robots in the videos. That's going to be huge for us whenever we hit that. So I'm really looking forward to that day, because we have tons of tutorials.
So what do you need to reach? You need to reach 1,000.
1,000, yeah, because 1,000 is the minimum. Because we already have, I think, the watch hours, for the partnership program, I think they're calling it. Basically, not being monetized. So we have I think around 400 subscribers to go. Here, I can check.
Yeah. So then why don't we have a talk offline, because I can guide you on all that we have to do there and get you set up. So Amos said 1980 when he was 7, was inside Honeywell for the day and saw R2D2 rimming the floors all day. So that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, Honeywell, they're a great company for sure.
Yeah, they're local to me too. They have one of their buildings local.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good stuff. So yeah, I could talk all night about this. I definitely want one of everything.
So if I were to make a suggestion though, I would get the Voyager over the Explorer, because the Voyager is just more of the Explorer,
Yeah.
But yeah, we definitely encourage that for sure. But we have a lot of stuff in the pipeline that I'm so excited about. It's just a question of having time. Teaching my classes full time, that's really important to me, and I want to make sure I give that my all. That's what pays the bills. But ACBR is so close to my heart, and so I'm really excited for where we are headed as a company. and I want to keep growing. I want to keep, yeah, I will. I want to keep growing, and keep working. We've grown a lot this first year. I'm not sure how long ago we talked for the first time.
March.
Okay, yeah. But we like I think we sold like 90 robots last year, which was pretty crazy, which is awesome, and we're able to put that right back into the company and put that towards giving these robots away. And I would love to get to the point where our kits are being sold, and my role is to just deliver them for free to people, to go around to schools and say, hey, here are your robots, but we have a long way to go. But if that's like my dream career, and so I'm trying to make that happen.
Well, we can make that happen, and you can get to the point where with creating the right content on YouTube, you can actually make more money at YouTube than you do as a teacher and that you do as your ACBR. So
yeah,
it's, the opportunities are incredible. And Jeff Eatley, yes, thank you for joining in, brother. And yeah, I definitely can show you the way. And then there's a book that we'd like you to get. It's by Daryl Eves, and I'll send you a link to it.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, we'll get that set up for you. You can pre-order the book, and I think it's available. I think it'll be shipped February, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's some guidelines or basic principles on how to produce good content for YouTube.
Yeah.
And Jeff and I are in his Channel Jumpstart program. So it's really an amazing program. Helps you learn a lot, and incredible stuff. So one of the biggest things for us is understanding the analytics and how to measure your analytics and look at how a video's performance is compared to a previous video's performance. And I haven't had a lot of time to produce content because I'm so busy with my side hustle.
Yeah,
I work with Daryl, so that's where I spend a lot of my time.
Right.
But other than that, it's my day job, and so there's not a lot of time for me to produce content. At some point there will be, and I'm armed with the best things to do, and I know exactly what videos I'm going to do and how I'm going to do them. So I'm ready and excited for you as well, because this is something that when you say you're at 500 subscribers and you need like maybe 400 and some more to get to that 1,000, literally, I'm going to say this, it's easy. It's real easy. Like it's like, and I'm not kidding you at all. And like people who are like the 100 subscriber mark are like, oh my God, it's so painful. Guess what? When you learn these best practices and how to do this stuff, and you learn from somebody like Daryl Hughes, it's so yeah, your YouTube will then be, what's really cool about this is your YouTube channel will actually be your free advertising for you. You don't have to pay for advertising. It will surface in Google for robots eventually when you get to the point where it's doing it. And then we work on collaborations. Like I'll of course be one of the collaborators with you. We are now already. I mean, you're on my channel.
Right, exactly.
Talking about this. Then you have people like Ron, the Happy Extruder, who's asking questions. So he's somebody who would definitely take you up on helping your growth by amplifying your message. So
that'd be awesome. But my one point of pride in terms of YouTube right now is if you search ESP32 robot, I come up first, which is a pretty general term.
That's huge, and that there tells you the power of YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Because that's when you start discovering that, okay, I can use YouTube to then further amplify my message, get further reach.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that it's all, I really see that as the pillar of your focal point.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I would love to move in that direction, certainly.
Yeah. So let's see. Wister was a buy all button. Place an order now and see what the kids can do. Yeah, so that's awesome, Keith. Yeah, this is Yeah, I knew it. I knew what you meant, but I'm sure that if Brian Vines is on, he will. He'll do a pun with that typo. Yeah, seriously. Like I seriously do want the buy all button. Like just I don't have a lot of time. I do not have time to sit there and
Yeah,
click.
you're right. I'm losing customers here. What am I going to do? But Keith, thank you so much. So Keith, you'll learn pretty soon that I am here for my customers. Well, I'm here for anybody, but you know what I mean. Like I consider everyone who buys a kit from us, part of the family. And it's been so much fun. That's been one of the most uh, fun things. Like I have one person who helps me with marketing, but other than that, I run the show, and it's so funny. Like he'll reach out with like, "Hey, we just got an order from this person." I'm like, "Oh yeah, he's getting married pretty soon, and he's gonna go on a vacation." He was telling me about it, and like I end up knowing all these people by name, and I think our proof of success is in our repeat customers, because we do get lots of repeat customers, and that's I'm so thankful for that, because I'm in this to try to make the world a better place. It's as simple as that. And that's not necessarily the most lucrative path, but it's the only path in terms of being a business owner that I think is acceptable, at least for myself. So it's really exciting to see things grow, because it's been a lot of hard work for sure.
So now, do you have a place on Reddit, like a subreddit, or you have a forum for talking about these things? Like
That is in the works.
Okay.
So
Right.
that is on the list of things that I've been meaning to do. So like, yeah, having some place where customers can post stories and like modifications, because like there's a robotics engineer who build the Voyager with his little kids. And he emails me like every week or so with the modifications he's done. And he actually ordered a whole chassis from Send Cut Send. That's a redesign of mine. So he's actually like the pieces of the Voyager he uses now
He's
are basically
remixing yours.
just the PCV. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that's what's cool too, is because like, I could always go bigger, but then it's not cost effective anymore. Or like, it would cost me so much. But my customers, if they only need to make one, they can go crazy. So yeah, he's trying to make it into an automatic tennis ball launching robot for his dog. That's like his goal, which is so cool, and I love to be a part of that journey, even if I was only the very first bit of inspiration, which is really cool, So yeah, it's definitely so much work, and I hope that ACBR becomes something that can help support my family in the future, But right now, it's just kind of working as hard as I can to keep growing.
Yeah. That's the good stuff. So yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. We will. I want you to stay on with me after we end the live, because
Yeah, of course.
I want to discuss how I order these parts with you. And then for everyone else, thank you for tuning in. The last video I produced officially was my talk with Matt, because I've been so busy with side hustle work. So this is the second of a series, I guess we'll call it.
There you go.
This is Anyone Can Build Robots Part 2. We have there's a lot of footage that I filmed for videos for my channel, but just again, it's like you said, you only have so much time in the day, so there's things that you can't do as a result. And so one of them is producing content on my channel. But I have been posting to my community tab, and then occasionally posting stories of what's going on. So yeah, let's see here. Comments that are coming in. Yeah, so Donna, my sister, she can do it too. So let me tell you a little bit about Donna. So Donna's goal was to quit her day job, which she did. She quit it, and to make enough money cutting out things with a scroll saw and selling them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she's done that. Now I'm trying to let her realize the power of YouTube and how much money she can make on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that she takes that seriously and produces some content on there, because that'll triple, quadruple what she's making with the stuff that she's cutting out. And that's for everybody, right? So anybody who has a passion, you can create content around that passion.
Yeah.
And just there's ways that you can learn how to create the content better over time, but creating that first video, that's the important thing. And just keep delivering values. Delivering value to each video that you do. And so now, okay, so here we go. So my sister, she said, my nephew's helping with the edit, so that's good. So the kids have computers now, and they're set up with Adobe Creative Cloud.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is what, when you have somebody who works, with Daryl's helping them grow to hopefully now this will, like, every family member I know will end up being a video content.
Yeah.
I mean, my son's already producing content on YouTube. He does it for his music stuff. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I've been editing videos literally all day since 8 this morning. I took a break for this live stream too. So I know it's so important. It can be so helpful to try to get the word out.
Yeah, and then so Keith just purchased.
Oh wow! Thank you so much. See, I saw an order from Brian as well. That's amazing, absolutely amazing here.
Dude, so awesome. Yeah, thanks for doing that, guys.
It's life changing for us, and know that like I said, every cent that doesn't go to making that robot goes to helping somebody else. So that's
So now what I expect, guys. So I don't know if Keith, if you're still producing content, but so when you buy this robot, because you're in the 3D printing area, do something with 3D printing and make sure you tag me when you release the video, and tag Matt. So now, Matt, have you created a Twitter account yet? That was our last conversation.
That was our last conversation.
I was down the shore because we were. This is what's cool about working from home, right? So I work from home, and we have a shore house. So we were down in Wildwood, the Jersey Shore, and I remember I was talking to you, and I'm like coaching you, and I'm like, okay, you got to create this Twitter account now. And then so you got to create this Twitter account, because I got to tell you, like, these guys will tweet at you, like when they come up with a video, they will tweet at you when you release a new product and you post it on Twitter, they will retweet your stuff. I mean, they're that way. I mean, they're super cool people. So
I did create the Twitter. You told me to do it.
You did.
I did create it.
I thought you did.
I think I turned off notifications like instantly though, because it would blow up my phone.
Yeah. So
which is the point.
And that's okay, but you can set it up so that you can just scan it in the morning or whatever, or in the evening. But send me, if do you know what your Twitter handle is right now?
It's probably ACBR Robotics. I'd have to look it up. I'm so sorry, but I did make.
Let's look it up right now. We'll this is important. So ACBR Robotics or ACB Robotics. It would help if I spelled robotics. AC Robotics. Yeah, I'm not finding it.
I gotta look that up.
I'm not spelling robotics right. I spell robotics. Take some time, and so we need you to find out what that is.
Okay, I'm on it.
All right, and then I will tweet that to everybody, and we also have a dark Twitter for our 3D printing community, and I'll make sure we put that in there. And you can already see that, like, Ron's already on. Like, yeah, we'll definitely retweet that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate the support. That's one thing that's so awesome about social media, and I've really enjoyed through Instagram. Like, we've been really, really active on Instagram, for the last, couple months, and just the whole community. Whenever you have a question and whenever you need some help on something, but along with the 3D printing. So one thing I wanted to show you guys that is perfect. So we have the Rover right here, right? And I have these top plates that I cut out of acrylic, right? And the idea is the top plate is there's a spot for your pinout. Sorry, I don't have the standoffs plugged in, but you have the breadboard up top, and I have the files and dimensions for this, and so you could totally 3D print something for the top, kind of like a more of a rounder shape or something else. So we have all that open source, the dimensions and things. That should make it super easy to try to 3D print something really cool. Yeah, we have these CNC routed acrylic tops for prototyping. But the idea was that we'd have interchangeable tops, so you could attach some servos, you could attach other devices kind of to the top, so you could interchange the top and increase what it is that robot can do.
No, that's why I love 3D printing.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I became friends with these guys, right? 3D printing.
Yeah.
The 3D printing community is incredible. You learn the value of friends.
Yeah.
Through the 3D printing community, because when you have a question, they have no problem answering. And for instance, like I was shooting my sister in her garage with a camera, and I reached out to Jeff Eatley, who took the profile photo that was used on this shirt here. So
nice.
The profile photo, and then I had an artist draw that up. Jeff took the call, and he walked me through settings on the camera. Like, I didn't understand camera settings, and then we got some pretty dope photos as a result of Jeff helping.
Yeah.
So, the power of friends in the community. So, the 3D printing community is really awesome. And that's where I learned that I knew I could build anything, but at the same time, I had this inner voice saying, you don't know how to do that. You don't know how to do that. Well, once you learn 3D printing, you realize that there's not a lot that you can't do.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of maybe you need the right 3D printer, or maybe you need a laser, or, a CNC. But it's incredible stuff. So
it really is.
Yeah. And when you go to these events, so if you can swing it, so guys, is Earth going to be virtual, or that call hasn't been made yet? So if Earth is in person, I really recommend that you go. It's the East Coast Rep Rat Fest, and it's in Maryland, and it's an hour from my house. But you come out here, and it's a 3-day nerd fest.
Yeah.
And you could have your robots out there. You could be a sponsor of the event, and with your robots and with the 3D printing and how you incorporated it. I mean, that would be huge. Like, that would be a huge thing for you, I think.
Yeah. Finding conferences and things is one of those things that
are relevant.
I want to do very badly.
Finding conferences that are relevant. And I think that a 3D printing conference is like the perfect thing, because who wouldn't want to get one of your robots and then start building all kind of crazy 3D printed stuff with it to start doing something? Hey, Vice Gaming, thanks for joining in.
Yeah, and that's what's so great too about having all the GPIO pins exposed. So like I have the header pins I have some servo header pins up there, and then also a fileable header pin. Like you saw the video where want to add a camera? Okay, that takes 2 seconds. And you have all of the breakout pins exposed too, and so you have this platform, or that you could 3D print something that you're right. You could make this little robot be an affordable foundation for 1,000 different projects, and that's what's one thing that's been really inspiring. That's one of the reasons why I switched over from Arduino to ESP32. Is well, there's a million reasons, but having more GPIO pins for more projects, right? You want to control the Rover with a web page. You want to control it with another ESP32. You want to control it with your phone. You want to control it with a PS3 controller. Okay.
Control it with another ESP. You're creating Skynet. Come on, man.
Actually, have you heard of ESP Now?
No, I haven't.
So ESP Now is ESP30. So Espressif Systems' own communication protocol. It uses the same 2.4 gigahertz network, that you have with the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, but it's for ESP32 to ESP32 connection. And so that means you can make custom controllers, or you can make, a home base, and you can even do a mesh network kind of thing. So technically, if you had a bunch of rovers, you could do it. You could do an entire mesh network of rovers. I've never even done that myself. I just know that it's possible. And
So you can do Wi-Fi. Is Wi-Fi built into the ESP32?
Yes, it is. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and like so Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, ESP Now. It's great. So like I essentially call ESP Now their own radio, but it's a proprietary radio,
Yeah.
Protocol. And so like I said, that's why we have the PS3 controllers. We have all of this other stuff. And that was it was just all kind of built out of what I thought would get my students' attention. Because kids are hard to impress. And so I would be in class and I'd say, all right, guys, today we're building a wireless laser cannon and we're going to pop balloons. And I would have like 5 kids be like, okay, I guess. And then the rest of the kids were like, that's lame. And I'm like, wait, how is that lame? And so it's that motivation that like sometimes, my goal is to inspire students. And so the only option is to get better and better and better and better and better and make my robots more and more and more exciting. So that's what we're trying to do.
We're gonna pop hydrogen-filled balloons.
Mm-hmm. So one of my best friends, right? Like one of my best friends is was the metal shop teacher at our high school, the high school I taught at, right? So we both teach at different places now, but we had that exact conversation because I had my laser popping laser cannon or balloon popping laser cannon robot that I used in class, because like I said, I'm just trying to get these kids' attention. And that's what he said, right? We got to pop hydrogen balloons. And we even did research where you need the flash paper because the flash paper will catch fire and
the laser won't ignite the
exactly.
Yeah.
So we got really close. And in the end, it was finding a place that would fill the tank, and he ended up losing interest because we all got a million stuff going. But I love being an educator.
9,000 things that can go wrong with hydrogen.
Right, I know. I tell my students all the time, like I want to inspire them so much, and as long as I keep my job, that's great. Like because it's that's important. But yeah, let's see, what are we at now? 5.2, yeah. And originally we didn't plan on the YouTube channel being something where we're creating new content. We basically had the YouTube channel to offer guides to building our robots, just like any company would have. And it was through our tutorials that we ended up getting a lot of traffic, and I saw that there was a need. So like the tutorial we have for connecting the ESP32 to the PS3 controller, I get people all over the world going to our website from that video, and that's really, really fun. So yeah, I think that's probably our most popular. PS3 controller plus ESP32 plus robotic arm equals awesome. That was a really fun one too. Yeah, we've had a lot of fun videos, and I'm really excited. I have like probably 10 videos that we're going to be releasing this week, all about the new Rover and the guides and stuff. So I'm excited to get that content out there.
So you might have noticed me. I left the studio. I hit F5 on StreamYard and not F5 on your YouTube page. I meant to hit F5 on your YouTube page to see. So yeah, I ended up booting myself from the studio.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but fortunately, StreamYard is so cool. I was able to enter back in like no problem at all.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So lots of cool things here. And there's huge opportunities. I mean, I'm looking at these videos here. You got 3K views, 6K views. This is good stuff. So yeah, we'll talk. So stay online.
Sure.
We'll have a little session.
Yeah, I'm excited. One thing I was saying is like we have like it could be, yes, and I want to get to that level for sure. One thing that's kind of a bummer is I can't actually record in the classroom because you can't show students' faces and things like that. So with the exception of some laws you have to follow, I definitely could. I like we said, I have like there's like 5 or 6, maybe 8 videos that we'll have out this week, all about the new Rover and how to build it, how to put it together, and some other fun stuff. So I have a ton of content planned. It's just a matter of having time. So now that I have the launch of the new Rover, done, I'll have a little bit more time to focus on our YouTube content. So I'm really excited for us to grow there.
So here, I want you to. So we're going to do this. I'm able to save this broadcast, and then we can repurpose it. So what I want you to do is uninterrupted. I'm going to mute myself. Uninterrupted launch speech right now on my channel. Go.
The launch for the Rover.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Rover. I think the Rover, the new ACVR Rover represents the best value for money in terms of exciting robotics content that's affordable and easy enough that absolutely anybody can build it. I named my company Anyone Can Build Robots because I believe it. I believe it with everything I have, that if you have will to learn how to build robotics, get introduced to programming, learn about wiring, you can do it. I've seen it countless times as a robotics teacher. There are so many students who maybe think they don't have the skills, or maybe don't think they're good enough at math. And I'm here to tell the whole world that it's just not the case. I started ACBR so that anyone can have a blast building robots. And a lot of that has to do with the robotics kits that we have in our shop. So we have the ACBR Rover, which has integrated RGB LEDs. It has an integrated speaker for sound effects. It has high-powered motor drivers, a nice tall wheelbase so it can go over obstacles. You can control it with a PlayStation controller. You can control it with your smartphone, a computer, pretty much anything. It is an all-around fun robotics machine. And one of our big goals is to make that super affordable. And so we have our new Rover robotics kit on our website. And with one thing that's so important to us is that we're supporting students all around the world. And so, while we sell our robotics kits, a huge part of what we do is giving away robotics kits for free. That's why a huge portion of our sales go to doing exactly that. Our goal is to help people all around the world, whether you can afford to buy robotics kits to help you through awesome robotics kits that are exciting and have, great YouTube videos to go along with them and awesome documentation to make the whole process easy and fun, or to support our mission and help us donate robotics kits to those who wouldn't get the chance. That's one of our big goals. And so I think learning how to build robots can be so much fun. And it can give you skills that can change your life. And it's never been easier. And so if you're looking for exciting robots that can help your son or daughter or yourself gain some amazing skills in engineering and robotics, that I think the ACBR Rover Robotics Kit is a great option.
So awesome. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. You and I will stay on. And let's see what the next video will be on my channel. Will it be Matt again when he has his next launch, or will it actually be a legitimate video that I produce?
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. It's humbling.
Yep. Thank you, everyone, and thank you for placing the orders too. That's really nice and generous of you.
Amazing.
Yes. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye, everyone.